On today's Buckeye Roast, we start with Ryan Day's latest press conference, breaking down what he had to say ahead of another massive week for the Buckeyes. Then we'll get Terry Smith's perspective from the Penn State side and ask the question, are we overlooking Penn State heading into this matchup? We'll highlight the key matchups to watch Saturday and finish with a look at the BCS Top 25, what the computers are saying about this season, and how Ohio State stacks up. I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
Another day in sunny Utah. I can't complain. Got to see the downtown of Park City a bit, so it's pretty nice down there. If it wasn't cold as hell, you know, might have been able to spend some time and meet and greet, but maybe a little too cold for that.
Too cold to chit chat?
Yeah, actually, we went to this one bar called Saloon, and they had the best heaters I think I've ever seen a restaurant have. I was warmer there than I've been in here because my house is a little cheap on the heat. So I'm like, can I just sleep here outside? Like, I'll get a better night's sleep. But no, it was fun, man. It's nice to see downtown, Ron. How you been?
Doing well. I mean, I'm lying, actually. We've had some technical difficulties getting the show going, but we're here. We're rolling. Q, yesterday I went on a crazy rant about Arkansas, and I normally start this show with some spooky facts or something related to Halloween to get the show rolling, but I had to address my rant about Arkansas yesterday because I felt bad because I'm thinking as I'm just trying to be funny, not necessarily completely being funny. I do still stand by my statement that I think that California is probably a better state to live than Arkansas. I digress. Our guy, Ark Buck, reached out, and I should have known when I said no one from Arkansas listens to the show when Ark Buck has been supporting us for at least 2 different channels now and comments on our show all the time. And he hit us with a comment yesterday with why the strays for Arkansas. I don't know.
Why the strays?
I was just bullshitting. So I figured we start the show with a fun fact from Arkansas.
Okay, this is new.
In 1876, 2 Fayetteville newspaper editors had a street fight to settle their differences. The loser had to sell his paper and leave town, which he did. Imagine if that's how things worked covering Ohio State.
Bro. Be a lot of people dead for their terrible takes, or a lot of people that deserved death for their terrible takes. I will say, man, back in the day, they did not play. I mean, obviously, you know, the history used to just go out and be like, oh, we got beef. Even if you were, what was it, Andrew Jackson had bodies to his record. Like,
I mean, they didn't go out each other. They just sold the paper. They scrapped. This man Q's trying to have a shootout. These men's had a gentleman's fisticuffs.
Well, I mean, they had those too, but I'm just saying they got a little reckless.
I mean, I know this is an Ohio State show. You're just skipping right to the theatrics. And Q's like, oh, let's step outside and fight. And by fight, I mean wrestle with pew pew. We can't even say that word on here. We're going to get banned.
Okay. Imagine a world where if you had these audacious takes on Twitter, you had to stand on them like that. They'd be like, look, you really believe this take? Let's go out and draw. And one of us walks
Not
away.
Not even about that. Like, how about this one? The better scenario is, oh, you want to start a YouTube about Ohio State? Let's fight about it to see if you're even allowed to have a channel. Like, I feel like that's the more accurate analogy.
You got to box your way into media. I'm sure people take their work a lot more seriously.
Or a lot. People would have a lot less opinions too.
Fantasy world. Definitely sounds like a Halloween movie. Possibility. Write it up.
Absolutely, but they are not afraid to get things popping down in Arkansas. I have two more fun facts before we get going. The only state in the United States where you can dig for diamonds, I believe they have a Diamond State Park. So yeah, that was interesting to find out, and it's also illegal to mispronounce the state.
So you say Arkansas wrong, you go to jail?
I wouldn't advise going down there calling it Arkansas. I say that.
Arkansas. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. Yeah, Riz, I actually wonder what the penalty is. I might look it up on my cell phone when we're on a rant and see what the penalty is if you pronounce the state wrong. Ark Buck will know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't check the analytics. I don't know how many people are watching from Arkansas, but at least one our guy, Ark Buck. So I wanted to circle back there because I felt bad about my rant. And it was, I'm not denying the strays did happen, but I do agree they were unnecessary.
how much of this show is truly unnecessary?
The unnecessary roast. I digress. Q. We have a show to get into. Let's get into it.
Play the song, man.
Hey guys, we got a lot of cool stuff going on the channel right now, so make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, Ron and Q are doing a great job going daily for the Buckeye Roast, and then me and Tyler are sprinkled throughout the week doing all things Ohio sports. The channel hit 3,000 subs super quickly, and we couldn't do that without you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys as always. What's my little brother doing? He goes, peace.
Q, I was on the timeline yesterday and I saw someone call Ryan Day a liar. And I'm like, what year is it? 2023? I feel like that would have been an accurate description of our guy a couple of years ago. But post-national championship, Ryan Day really lets it hang in these interviews and really doesn't hold back. And coming into a week like this against Penn State, given the history with Jim Knowles, I felt like Ryan Day, in years past in this type of scenario, a lot of coach speak, a lot of respect for the opponent, maybe almost like a timidness in the interview. Ryan Day seems so comfortable in himself and at these press conferences. When I watched this press conference, it just got me excited for the season again. The week of reset during the bye week, I really missed Ohio State football. This is the first time I really dove into things as far as back with the team, watching film, watching these interviews. And Ryan Day seemed confident just watching the interview. I'm not sure if you actually got a chance to watch it or if you just read the notes, but I did want to note that I mean, this doesn't seem like a guy that's nervous. It seems like a guy that is on a mission.
Yeah, I think Ryan Day sucked the soul. They pause, but out of me watching these interviews, because Jesus Christ, we used to do it a couple of years ago. They were like watching paint dry, and that's why we watched the tight ends do interviews, and they said, "How are you preparing for Texas? We're just gonna go out there and give it our best." It was like, "Come on, man, you're gonna make me depressed again." So definitely, he's gotten better with these interviews. I'm glad he's letting it fly a little bit more. They've been more exciting. I don't know. I didn't watch the most recent ones, but I heard from you they were getting better because that was one of your least favorite parts of doing the show. So,
yeah, I mean, the only thing that I hate about doing the show more is those crazy ass pause moments that you were putting in. Like, they're almost like comedically written.
Old time saying. Oh, that sucked the life out of me. It just drew me out.
That's not what you said. You said he sucked me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Run the tape back. Run the tape back.
I said those interviews sucked the soul out of me.
Which is even crazier.
Oh, okay. You just can't win around here, man. That's all right. You know what?
It's
going to be a pause heavy. It's going to be a pause heavy show. I'm bringing it all out. Just wait. Just wait. Continue.
This guy. Ryan Day, when he's not doing what Q said that he did, because whatever he said was a lie, Ryan Day on his relationship with Jim Knowles. Like any relationship, when it breaks off, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But there really hasn't been much communication, Day said. He did a great job when he was here, helped us win a national championship, kind of left it at that. Then it was, hey, we got to go make a replacement and move on from here. Yeah, that's kind of how it was. It was abrupt, but we certainly respect the work he did when he was here.
I mean, yeah, I like how he said. I mean, I know the fan base, they'll jump on you in a second. You go somewhere else, you leave at a time when they really like you, they will hate you. It'll be quick and fast. I mean, I'm with Ryan Day here. I really appreciate Jim Knowles for coming in because we remember those defensive days before Jim Knowles got here, and it wasn't pretty. And yes, it was not all great moments, but he turned the defense completely around. We had the number one defense last year, which led us to a national championship. So I appreciate the work he did. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ryan Day still is a bit salty. He's going to sound better in the media than he feels in real life. You know, it's funny. I actually saw this IG video, and it was like when you're playing that team that the coach hates, and he talked crazy to the players like behind closed doors. They just got to go interview in front of the media. He's like, "Yeah, I have a lot of respect for that team. It's going to be a tough game behind." He's like, "I don't like them, and honestly, we beat them last year. We should beat them worse this year."
Right, he's out in the press conference talking about how much he respects the other team, and then in the locker room, and he's like, "And his wife's ugly." He's just talking crazy.
100%.
Ryan Day kind of showed his teeth a little bit with this one in the most Ryan Day way possible, I guess. On Jim Knowles leaving from Penn State, it goes back to what we were saying earlier, just about how college football and how it has changed and the money and everything like that. It's just, you're seeing some things that maybe we're not used to. But I guess when you look at the NFL, you see more of that than you would in college. But I guess we're getting more like the NFL. So we try to not take things personal, but we are human. He didn't have to throw in that last, but we are human line. That sounds like Ryan Day packed a suitcase and the only thing in it is belts for this Saturday. And it's not even an away game. This man just showed up to the stadium with a suitcase full of belts for Jim Knowles on Saturday.
Yeah, no, he's definitely going to take it personal. I mean, we know Ryan Day, and obviously he hasn't had the success against Michigan, but he held a clause as a personal thing he was ready to let go if he ever beat him. So hopefully he get that out this year. But yeah, he definitely takes things pretty personal. So you can tell the way Jim Knowles left, he was not happy about it. I think everybody's happy now. Matt Patricia's in. We all like Matt Patricia. The defense is doing amazing, but definitely people got the sticks out for Jim Knowles when he comes back. So hopefully he can make it in and out of the woody safely.
Ryan Day started to pop his shit with this next line. He said Penn State will come to Columbus with a nothing to lose mentality. That's like to say, hey, these men, they got nothing to lose at this point because they ain't playing for anything. This is their Super Bowl now. Like, we are their last hope after coming into this season with such high expectations. I mean, this is me talking, or obviously Ryan Day didn't say all of that. He just said a nothing to lose mentality. So Ohio State will have to be on high alert for essentially tricks up their sleeves. You think Jim Knowles has anything funky for the Buckeyes to be that the Buckeyes should be preparing for on Saturday?
I mean, yeah. I mean, first of all, I agree with Ryan Day. I mean, they lost to Northwestern and UCLA. I mean, Ron, I don't know if you have any eligibility left, but we might be able to at least walk on to those squads. They have not been very good over the season. So I will say, I think Jim Knowles is going to throw the absolute kitchen sink. I think he's going to pull out all the stops and try just to hang on for dear life against this offense. And I feel like the Penn State defense still has the personnel. They still can make it interesting. They have not been a good team. I don't expect the offense to do anything against Matt Patricia and the gang. But this defense will come out here and try to make a statement and hold Ohio State under 20 or something like that and be like, hey, man, we held on for dear life and we succeeded against the number one team in the nation, even if it doesn't mean a win. Or definitely there's a moral victory out there that could be won for Penn State this week, I believe. So, yeah, I agree with what he said.
Ryan Day was asked about how he goes about replacing his staffs, and he mentioned Saban and just trying to model what he's doing after how Saban was able to go out and constantly try to find the best guy and not necessarily rush into a decision. He talked about that in the Matt Patricia decision as well. A lot of people were screaming, oh, is he ever going to hire a defensive coordinator? And he pretty much said, hey, I'm going to make sure I get this right when I'm making these coaching hires and not really just fill the void because people want to name immediately. And I feel like he nailed this hire, and I'm glad that he did take his time. And a lot of people question this hire. He talked about on how he replaces coaches. He said, yeah, you just keep winning and continue to have opportunities is the goal. That's part of understanding of being unselfish, whether it's players or coaches. We know that when we're unselfish and we win as a team, there's great opportunities for everybody in their careers, and that's a good thing. I think that hints a little bit at what's going on now with the Brian Hartline situation. He did touch on that later in the interview. Didn't address it directly, but pretty much said, when coaches have these opportunities, you understand that there's a goal at hand and what's in front of you as far as the goals that they set out every year when you sign up to be a part of this program, and you expect to complete those goals whether you're looking elsewhere or not, because those things come from the success that you have in front of you with the program that you're working with. So as long as people are focused on that, the task at hand, he understands that these opportunities do come up, and he just expects to have honest conversations with his coaches while they're happening, just so he's not blindsided. And I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, the opportunities that come with coaching at Ohio State, if any coaches are good, people are going to try to take them. I mean, we've dealt with it really since well before we were covering the team. I mean, I remember the Urban days when I started keeping up with coaches and position coaches and like that. And it's like, man, if we just hold the staff together, this guy's got an offer. This guy's got an OC offer. This guy's got a head coach offer. Defensive coordinator, please stay 2 years. Like, it's been very tough to hold on the staff. You can only imagine, like, Bama, what they went through. But Nick Saban was the best at it. I mean, he had NFL head coaches coaching just positions at Alabama. They call it the school of rehab. He'd pull guys out. Next thing you know, they'd be a hot commodity name. So it's cool that guys get to come to Ohio State and get to go chase their dreams later. I mean, nobody wants a great staff to leave. I think we all love this coaching staff. Pretty much every guy down the line, we're like, please stay as long as possible. But if they're truly that good, they won't. But you want the coach to be that good. So it's like, you don't want a guy no one wants. Like, no one wants your old line coach. And we're like, yeah, can we get another one? So you can't have it both ways.
A guy that everybody's going to want after this season, Matt Patricia. Ryan Day talked about that hire and said his history of coaching in the NFL helps give him some perspective to helps him give some perspective to everybody of just how long of a run this is, speaking about how the NFL season is much longer than the college football season. For those of us who went through it last year, that's one thing, but he's done it for multiple years, and you've got to keep building each week. I know that he understands that, and he's continuing to talk to the staff and the players about that as well. And I think that's an underrated aspect. So many people were so focused on Matt Patricia's tenure with the Lions and how that ended, and really forgot about how much experience he has as a championship winning coach and how much knowledge he was bringing into the building, given all his experience in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, one, very important. You do when you're trying to establish an organization, you definitely want pro mindset in there. And I think we hit the home run with Jeff Hafley when we hired him, and obviously Matt Patricia now comes in from the NFL, and it's just that experience, that grind. You think about it, like, not every game is easy to get up for. I mean, you talk about Texas week 1. Yeah, everyone's excited to play that. But when you have Penn State coming in, they've lost plenty of games, lost to UCLA, lost to Northwestern, lost to Iowa, just not looking good. It's like, it's not a sexy game anymore. It's not a marquee game. You really have nothing to win, but you go out there, you handle business, you get it done, and that's a pro mentality. We talked about it. What's the difference between, good players and pros? And it's like that consistency. And I feel like Matt Patricia is a guy who alludes to that, and he's like, hey, guys, you got to do this week in, week out, because you lose one game, the whole season will change. We're looking right now, and we're like, look, we probably see Indiana in the Big Ten championship as long as we both went out. We don't win out. Now it's up for questions. So you definitely got to keep that mindset straight. I think Matt Patricia does a great job probably in the locker room. Don't know this personally, but if I would guess, he does a great job in the locker room, keep the guys focused.
Yeah, Ryan Day also talked about He talked about the staff. Obviously, that was a hot question in the interviews as far as the Jim Knowles revenge game, the potential Brian Hartline rumors. But Q, I wanted to take it back a little bit to an episode that we did earlier in the year where we talked about essentially the recipe for an Ohio State upset. Ryan Day talked about the problems that Penn State potentially poses, and he said, I don't think there's many teams in the country that have more talent than Penn State has. And I think people recognize that early in the season. Sure, it hasn't gone the way that they wanted to, but that doesn't change that they're still really good players. And when you looked at this game a few months ago, I mean, it was an absolute matchup game. That has not changed. It's still the same players other than the quarterback, and our guys know that. They understand that, and they know what it's about. It's not about our opponent. It's about our preparation. Q, this seems like the perfect recipe for an Ohio State upset as far as our criteria that we laid out, because we have a team that is absolutely littered with NFL talent. The Buckeyes have the potential to overlook this team given the losses that they've already had this season. We talked about potentially only playing a 2-game schedule. The Buckeyes are coming off a bye week. It has all the makings. While I don't believe the Buckeyes are on upset alert, man, does it check the boxes.
I mean, I would agree with you there, and I'll get to why it wouldn't happen in a minute. But I mean, I would agree with you there. I mean, this is a talented team. They really don't have much left to play for other than the name on the jersey, and seeing Iowa, seeing Northwestern, seeing UCLA. Like, everybody excited to play that. It's like, man, this season's going downhill. You see Ohio State, they haven't beat Ohio State since 2016. Like, you look at it, you're like, we have the opportunity against the number one team in the nation to do something we haven't done in a while. And also, you know, Ron, you know how this goes. Guys make their NFL draft highlight tape off of plays against Ohio State. You guys get drafted off of that game. So it's a great opportunity for them to come into the shoe, obviously put some highlights on film, play a game. And if they walk out and leave against a win to go Ohio State, I mean, they didn't win the national championship. Cool. Nobody's going to worry about that. You beat Ohio State, something they haven't done in almost 10 years. Like, you get back to campus, it will be jumping. I promise you that. So they have that opportunity. Now I'm with you. Do I buy it? No. Ohio State team or Ryan Day's teams don't sleepwalk into games. They just don't. They haven't since he started here, and we've lost big games, but the games we should win, we have won. And this Matt Patricia defense, like, unless they completely fall apart, and I mean self-sabotage, insider trading, conspiracy, espionage, you just go down the line of crazy stuff. I don't believe they're going to give up enough points for Penn State for them to beat us. But it does have the recipe. I will agree with that.
Speaking of recipes, Ryan Day talked about visiting a corn maze made in his likeness. He goes out and he visited his corn maze in years past, since they do it for different celebrities each year. Sometimes they're Buckeye themed, and they told him the first time he visited, if he wins a national championship, they'll do one of him. And I wanted to ask you, and you're probably like, well, what's that have to do with recipes? Well, I wanted to ask you, if you had the opportunity to have food used to make your likeness, which one would you choose? We saw the Caitlin Clark butter statue in Iowa. We saw the Marc-Andre Fleury chocolate statue in Las Vegas. And we have the Ryan Day corn maze, not as edible, but which one would you like to have made in your likeness? A chocolate statue, a butter statue, or a corn maze?
I would definitely have to go with the corn maze, and obviously you can have all the corn you want, because they're gonna have to cut some down to make this a butter statue. I don't feel like that's not none of either of those are sustainable. But at least the corn maze, you're gonna get a cool picture. You can go stand in the middle, and be like, yo, that's me right there in the middle of my corn maze. And I mean, corn mazes have a little legacy in sports. Obviously, the Field of Dreams. So throw that out there. You add some lore in there. I think that's pretty cool. I like it. Actually, my godmother's sister's husband actually owned a farm in Iowa. So I went to Iowa, giant corn maze, and honestly, it's a great experience. If you haven't been, they had giant windmills. You could drive through the cornfields on a four-wheeler. It was an awesome time. So I'm all about the corn mazes. And it's
I
Halloween.
feel I just feel like given your lifestyle and how much you attend the movies, how many movies you watch, and I would imagine the amount of popcorn you consume, a butter statue would be very valuable for a guy like you. You have to consume an above average amount of popcorn in a year.
Well, I don't eat a ton of popcorn when I go there. No, they get you every time. You walk in there, that popcorn smells better than any 5-star restaurant you ever will go. I'm like, what are they like? I feel like these are manufactured smells just to get you to buy the popcorn. But let's say I could get the corn maze and then leave, I can't leave with the corn maze, but I can leave with a butter statue that I can go melt and put on all the popcorn they just made out of that corn they cut down. That right there is a duo made in heaven.
Fun fact, movie theater butter, not actual butter. It's just flavored oil.
Oh, man. You're killing the allure.
Q, back to the Ryan Day interview. He talked about the run game. He said our execution level has to increase across the board. Says the run game has not been good, but has been good, but hasn't been great. Says to the running backs, the first 4 yards are on the team. Then after that, you gotta trust your God-given ability. It seems like Ryan Day thinks that they're calling the right run plays, and he's just waiting for them to execute.
I mean, they sure look good when Bo Jackson and Isaiah West are in the game. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence about whether it's like, at what point do you figure out, all right, well, we got to call something else because they can't execute this. And it's like, I'm not there yet, but you would like to see them get these things worked out. He did get into his coach speak when he said he went back to his favorite phrase of every play could be a touchdown. We don't call plays that we don't think we could score on. So if we could just execute better, we could score on every play. So, I mean, Ryan Day, he likes to set unrealistic standards and then get mad when we hold him to him. And now, when the Lunatic Fringe is on Twitter this week, complaining after every play that we don't score on, the standard is a standard.
Gotta go back to the middle school days. Every play is supposed to get 5 yards. Oh, thank you, coach. Wow. I surely hope we don't have 4th and goal on the 1.
Because I only have this 5-yard play.
Yeah, we're good. We're gonna run out of space. Now we've been lost. So thanks. Appreciate that, coach. We did that 1-yard play you never wrote up.
Q, that's all I have from the Ryan Day interview, but I did have more interview content. Terry Smith, Pittsburgh legend, spoke to the media in regards to this Ohio State matchup, said this week will be an extreme challenge. Ohio State has a long history of great receivers. Arguably, these are 2 of the better ones in that list. He said Jeremiah Smith is as good as they come. We are hoping he would go through a sophomore slump, but obviously he's not.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Jeremiah Smith and the way he works, you probably guess that one. But I mean, definitely with the uptick of Carnell Tate, you add Max Clare in there, who's definitely ticking up these past couple games. I mean, it's just a hard passing attack to stop. And then add Julian Sand in the way he's playing. I mean, Terry Smith's got to be like, man, why me? He would have made me interim coach after the next game, because now I got to put my resume on the line against Ohio State and the way this offense has been playing. Like we said, the run game can use some work, but there's no question about this pass game, the efficiency and the way it's working, and the fact that we at least have 2 first-rounders out there and probably more in waiting.
Yeah, I mean, and Terry Smith's a guy from Pittsburgh. No matter how bad this game goes, it's not going to be as bad as the last time the University of Pittsburgh played Ohio State in football. So I think Terry's going to be just fine.
Shout out Mark May.
Shout out Mark May, still beefing with Ohio State over that game. He added in his press conference, he's just got everything. He's big, strong, fast, runs great routes, competes. We have our hands full. Our job on the back end is to make those guys earn it. Pause. We have to limit explosive plays, keep the ball in front of us, make them earn their way down the field and not give up one-play scores. It sounds like they're going to make Julian Sayin execute up and down the field. Do you think this is going to be a challenge that the Buckeyes get credit for, given Penn State's record, despite the amount of talent we know exists on that defense, and they have the highest paid coordinator in all of college sports?
I don't know how much film Terry Smith has watched on first-year Jim Knowles defenses, but hate to tell him, he probably could give up 3 to 5 explosive plays against a really good team. So hopefully for his sake on that side, yeah, you want to limit the explosive plays. But again, we just saw Ohio State pretty much execute a masterclass in the passing game, taking what the defense gives you. Carnell Tate still goes crazy. Jeremiah Smith almost ends up with 100 yards, and it's like, yeah, okay, go 10 yards back. We're going to throw a 5-yard hitch. You're going to break a couple tackles. We'll get 10 to 15 and work our way down the field and then add in the run game. So, I mean, it's just like death by a thousand cuts. You can either take it. Okay, I'm going to say something pausing here, but take it in one play, or you can take it in a few. So I don't know which is worse, but it sounds like a lose-lose situation.
Speaking of which is worse, Q, we got a pause-filled statement here to wrap up this interview, and then we can just move on because I don't know what the hell's gone. They've got give me a second.
Take it all at once, Rod, or you can take it in portions. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God. Terry Smith added, they've got a lot of elite talent. They're big up front, they're fast in the middle, and they can cover on the back end. And that's all I have from the press conference.
We need more Terry Smith on this show. This guy's dropping elite content here for the Buckeye Roast. We got to interview this guy. Got him to the offseason.
You keep this show up with you. You better cover your back end, like Terry Smith said.
Cover your back end.
Oh my God, the Buckeye Roast presented to you by Pause University. Q, I have the question of the day here a little bit earlier in the show. Before we get into it, we have a message from our sponsors.
Hey guys, we got a lot of cool stuff going on the channel right now, so make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, Ron and Q are doing a great job going daily for the Buckeye Roast, and then me and Tyler are sprinkled throughout the week doing all things Ohio sports. The channel hit 3,000 subs super quickly, and we couldn't do that without you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys as always. What does my little brother do? He goes, peace.
That video came out last week, I think. We played it for the first time yesterday. We were at 3,350. We're already at 3,400 subs. Let's keep running it up. If some people think they are subscribed to the channel, they watch all the time, they're not actually subscribed. If they subscribe, it helps us a ton. If you hit that like button, it really helps our episodes grow faster throughout the day. So if you can take a second, it costs you nothing. It helps us a ton. Smash that like button. Q, our question of the day. Are we overlooking Penn State? I said before the Illinois game, I refuse to let anyone convince me that this will be an actual game. I'm not buying into it. I'm not letting people convince me that this is a real game. So I'm a little nervous about this one.
I think we heard that against Washington too, because people just had too much time on their hand and nothing to really analyze, and they convinced themselves Washington was a trap game. I'd say I think nationally this game is being overlooked. I mean, you look at this team, those losses you just can't look over them. They're that bad. But you'll say, are we overlooking that game? If you look at Ohio State fan base, I mean, maybe a little, but I think everybody knows every team has their day. And you feel like Penn State with nothing to play for, they really might have their day. The possibility to make it close again. I just if Matt P wasn't so good defensively, I have a little more worry. I just feel like this defense is that good that even the offense sleepwalking through a game probably could still win by 14, 17, 21. So, but I think nationally this game is getting overlooked, and I think this game has lost so much luster that it's hard to pump energy back. Like once you hype something up and it starts to fall, it's really hard to be like, but no, it is a great game. It's like, no, it's lost its luster, and like now it's a trap game, which is nearly not as fun.
Cute. I mean, Penn State comes into this game with ranked 8th in blue chip ratio. They were the preseason number 2 team in the country. They have the highest paid offense or defensive coordinator in the country. But I think one thing that people aren't factoring into this, you hear all of the people clamoring for Cocaine Day, bring back that Ryan Day energy. Well, I think they are about to get a Petty Wop exclusive on Saturday, and you are going to see Petty Ryan Day in the shoe, and you think he wanted to hang 100 on Jim Harbaugh. I promise you, there is absolutely no love lost in this game, and I don't think Ryan Day is going to pull any punches here.
He's gonna let Brian Hartline really go for it, because you know how Brian Hartline operates. He's like, "Yo, we got three plays to score. Coach started at the 10. Doesn't matter. Run it." So, yeah, I think they're gonna come out and be pretty aggressive, and I think this is the mentality you had against Wisconsin. You go there and you're like, "Look, this team isn't very good. Let's not give them any hope. Let's not play around. Let's go out. Let's test their chin. See if we can knock them out early." Get some subs in, get some guys out early, and let the backups play, get some experience. So I think Ryan Day is going to try to get them out the way pretty early. Now, he might not hold anything back till about halfway through the fourth quarter and let guys try to run it up a bit. But I think they're coming to this mentality like, let's not make this a game. Let's make this interesting at all and have the fans figuring out what they're going to do after the game by halftime.
Q, we normally save our over-under show for Friday, but I do have an early week over-under.
Okay.
Over-under the 7-minute mark in the third quarter before Ryan Day makes a reference to Brian Hartline on the headset. Do you want this to be you next year?
Will we ever get the answer to this question?
I don't know. I mean, maybe once someone leaves and Bill Rabinowitz writes another book, we might get the real truth about what happens on the headset on Saturday. But if I'm Ryan Day and we go out and I have my suitcase full of belts in the stadium, I'm making sure Brian Hartline takes a long look at those, because I have one with his name on it if he decides to go to Penn State.
I'm saving this one for someone special. Not naming that person, but I just have this unused belt that I've always saved for a great time. Yeah, I would say about halftime, Brian Hartline probably looking like, I don't know if I necessarily want to go to Penn State. It seems like a bigger job than I once thought. So we'll see, but I don't know if we'll ever get the real answer to that question. I will go over a little bit.
Q, we talked earlier in the show about the recipe for an Ohio State upset, and we always say it starts with NFL talent. We have been, I would say, probably two of the biggest champions of the Penn State running backs in our time covering college football. I've been big fans of Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. I liked both of these backs coming out of high school. I thought Katron Allen, from the time that he started running people over his true freshman year, and videos started to leak from spring and camp of that guy, I just knew that, he was a super talented player, and it's kind of disappointing that they didn't get to see the team success. Well, not disappointing as an Ohio State fan, love my natty, but given the given the hype around these two and them potentially being one of the best duos in college football throughout their time, even starting as freshmen, to see them not really have the team success, and it made me think, well, if they do possess the NFL talent, and this is potentially an upset game, let's go back and look at how these two performed against the Buckeyes in years past. And man, it wasn't pretty.
No, definitely not for Katron.
Definitely not. Starting in 2022, Katron Allen, 12 carries for 76 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Not a bad start. And then Nick Singleton in 2022, 14 carries, 45 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. In 2023, Katron Allen had 9 carries for 26 yards, 2.9 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. Nick Singleton, 6 carries, 15 yards, 2.5 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. And then last year, Katron Allen, 12 carries, 27 yards, 2.3 yard average, 0 touchdowns. Nick Singleton, 6 carries, 15 yards, 2.5 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. They have been effectively neutered when playing the Buckeyes. Q, I'm trying to find the excitement, the chance, the hope. When you see these rushing numbers from Penn State, this was supposed to be the year Ohio State allegedly had a weak interior. They're returning the alleged best duo of running backs in the country. And then you just look at the historical context of this matchup, and it's like, even if Katron Allen pulls out a freshman year performance, is that getting it done?
No. And we even championed the Penn State offensive line, and when we did our preseason draft,
I lied for them with them.
Yeah. So we did try to prop it up. I mean, they have not had success against this defense, given that with the Jim Knowles defense, but I don't think this rush defense has gotten any worse. It's probably gotten better, especially with the linebacker ascension. So yeah, I would say they have not had great games against Ohio State. I mean, and Lord, spending, I would love to champion them more, but spending just too many time in the Twitter spaces and hearing how much better these two were, or how much better these two were than Travion Henderson by the Twitter crowd. Yeah, so I was definitely not propping these guys up any more than I had to, but I think they're good backs. I just feel like with this rush defense, I mean, if Jim Knowles could shut these two guys down, and that was kind of his calling card, you're not going to run on my defense. My secondary may have some questions until last year, but you're not going to run on my defense. I think Matt P has the same thing. I don't think these guys are going to be able to run effectively on his defense. Now, could they come out and have a monster game? And we talked about this, they just turned it on one time. Sure, it could happen. But I just feel so confident in his defensive line, especially in the interior. Guys are really rising. Your guy, Will Smith Jr., has balled out lately. Tywell McGlone, a guy I really wanted to come here when he was transferring. He's really stepped up his game. There's no questions about Caden Curry. There's no questions about Caden McDonald. I just think this interior is so good, especially with the linebackers, that it's just going to be tough for anybody to run on this offense. And there's not a rushing offense. I don't care if it's NFL talent or not out there in college football right now that I'm like, I'm worried about them. Like, I'm going to have to see it to believe it.
Absolutely. I wanted to pivot to the other side of the ball. Ryan Day mentioned in his press conference that he expects Jim Knowles to have a few tricks up his sleeve. Q, do you think the Buckeyes are going to be able to run the ball with success against this Jim Knowles defense?
That's a good question. I don't know, actually. That's kind of the one caveat. As much as we talk about an upset and Penn State pulling out a magical game, like offensively for them, I'm like, yeah, good luck. I love to see it. Defensively, with the more of the pro talent you talk about, and Jim Knowles, who we know is a good coordinator. Now, he hasn't been a good coordinator the past few weeks, but we know we can coordinate. We just seen it last season. That is where things could get a little tricky. Julian saying is is a young quarterback. Jim Knowles is known for throwing the kitchen sink at people and making you make quick decisions. And he obviously has put together great defenses. That's the one where you're like, if we can't run and put it just on Julian Sand's shoulders, he hasn't really turned the ball over lately. That's one where you can see he might give up one. That's where you can see maybe he gets tricked by something. I think Jim Knowles is a good coordinator. I think he's going to throw out the stops, and I think it's going to be a good test for this offense. This offense could come out here and establish a run and continue what they're doing in the pass game. I think that's a huge checkbox going forward to Michigan and on to the Big Ten championship. I don't know if you hold this performance by the offense at the same value, but I think this is a good tested game. I feel like Penn State's going to walk in. We talk about their interior. We know they got pros up there. We're hoping in the offseason we can grab some guys off the interior and around this roster. So can't sit there and act like they don't have talent. I think this is going to be a good challenge for them. We know Jeremiah's fifth Cardinal Tate is going to go out there and do what they do. I don't think we're worried about that, but that doesn't mean this offense is going to have a smooth sailing day. So I think this is going to be a good test for them.
Absolutely. Tons of talent on this defense. We know Jim Knowles is quite familiar with this offense. I think it's a great test. It combines two things that have, challenged the Buckeyes, especially in games against a team up north. And that's going to, challenge them to show that they have an ability to run the ball and also that they can play in these games that involve a high level of emotion. I feel like the Buckeyes have lost the emotional battle in the past couple matchups against the team up north. It'll be interesting to see how they handle a high emotion game like this with the return of Jim Knowles. I wanted to ask you, how do you think the tackles hold up against this Penn State pass rush? Denied Dennis Sutton not having as strong of a year as he did last year. I hate to box score watch, defensive linemen, and admittedly, I haven't watched a ton of Penn State this year, but last year, 8.5 sacks for the Nittany Lions, only 2 so far on the season. But again, we've watched, there's a reason there's a statue of JTT outside of Beaver Stadium. Sometimes it only takes one game. And, you worry about, the talent that they possess. Chaz Coleman, a true freshman out of Ohio. A lot of Buckeye fans familiar with that name, a guy that a lot of Buckeye fans wanted. How do you think these tackles hold up? You could say Phillip Daniels arguably had his worst game in a Buckeye uniform last, 2 weeks ago now at this point, because of the bye week. So how do these tackles bounce back? Austin Sehraveld has been solid, but any concerns with this pass rush?
No, I think they've done a good job. I've talked about this Texas front a lot and talked about Colin Simmons and those guys and what they were able to do, him and Anthony Hill, and how good they were. They really didn't give up much against them. And I know those two at least can play football. Don't know about this Texas team, but those two are good. So I think it's a good challenge for them. I think most of the focus in this offseason or in this bye week was saying, hey, this running game hasn't performed well. We didn't perform well blocking last week from the tight ends. And these tackles, especially the right side offensive line, didn't have a good day in either pass pro or in the run game. So let's see if we can get that work in. We're going to get challenged by a good defensive front, as you mentioned, and let's see if we've gotten better. So I think that's something to look forward. I'm not worried about the pass rush. Not saying they can't get a sack or two, but I think this is a good testing block for this offensive line to say, hey, can we still keep Julius Sand clean with what we know NFL talent coming off the edge? Because we really haven't seen that in a few weeks.
Yeah, while this game doesn't have the star power of it technically does have the star power. It doesn't have the ranking prestige, I guess you could say, with Penn State having dropped so many games so far this season. But it's such a talented team that as a Buckeye fan, you have to be excited about this matchup as an opportunity to see how you match up against some of these more talented teams. And while we've watched Penn State lose to significantly less talented teams, you just want that test and to know that you can go out there and do it and compete with some of the best despite their inability to win as a team. Q, I have one more topic before we get out of here, but another quick message from the sponsors, because we're just jam-packed with sponsors around here, man.
Hey guys, we got a lot of cool stuff going on the channel right now, so make sure you like and subscribe. Obviously, Ron and Q are doing a great job going daily for the Buckeye Roast, and then me and Tyler are sprinkled throughout the week doing all things Ohio sports. The channel hit 3,000 subs super quickly, and we couldn't do that without you guys, and we want to continue to grow. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys as always. What does my little brother do? He goes, peace.
Say, yeah, Ron, how do they think I'm affording all these fancy vacations?
You're balling when you know that you can waste one of your vacations on a cold climate because you're going to get back to the beach soon.
Maybe not the beach, but I'll pour some water in the street and jump around it. I can't wait.
Q, I wanted to talk about a really cool article that I saw this week, and it made me, steal a couple graphics because I wanted to talk about it. On 3, I believe, had an article about where teams would stand if the BCS computers were still around, and I wanted to take a look at that graphic. I had to drop down because my camera refused to focus, but yeah. I digress.
I was about to tell you that it focused in.
Oh yeah, I knew it. I'm looking at this list, and you know what? I'm ready to say it. Bring the computers back because they got number 1 right, and that's really all that matters. Is there anything else to talk about?
I think they've been complaining about bringing computers back for quite some time as far as that has gone since we've gone to the college football playoff committee and have had politicians and energy plant owners and all kind of people on there. They might as well throw us, the Buckeye Roast, right on that committee because I don't think we could do it much worse or watch less football than some of them have throughout their careers. So, I mean, I will say, wasn't mad at the BCS. I do enjoy the playoff, but I wouldn't mind computers coming back. I mean, I think these rankings are pretty solid here when I'm looking down there. I mean, a lot of more SEC teams than I love to see, but I'm not complaining about the rankings and the way they have it.
I mean, if you look at these rankings, as when you talk about variance, the largest variance that you see, the difference between computer and the AP poll is you have Texas at 20 in the AP, and did I grab? Is this the correct? Is Texas at 20 right now? Because Memphis is 25. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to make sure. I was like, wait, Texas at 20, and I'm like, okay, yes, this is the accurate AP poll. I'm like, did I grab the wrong graphic? I did not. Texas at 20 is the largest variance between the two because they have them at 17, which shows you how close the computers are. You see 9 through 10, they got all three of those teams right, or I don't know if you call it right or not, but it's those three teams just in different order, and then you just have a little bit of a shakeup at the bottom. Let me remove that banner so we can see who 25 is. I mean, USC within a variance of 2. Not sure where Memphis actually is, but they are unranked. Houston getting love there. And then Navy, a team that we've heard talked about on a lot of the national shows this week as teams that potentially deserve to be ranked. I respect the troops. Thank you for your service. Not a big believer in their football teams, though. So I don't know what bias they have baked in there, but maybe I'm just wrong, and this Navy team is actually a top 25 team in the country. But I thought it was an interesting exercise to look at because not much variance at all, almost a ton of exact picks that were exactly on. So not much variance between the two, which was a bit surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, while looking at it, it's not too much to complain about. I mean, I think if I was switching something around, I probably at this point have Notre Dame ahead of Vanderbilt. I think they're playing better football right now and definitely roll again. And I'm with you on the Diego Pavia stuff. Not quite buying into this hype train that they got going on behind the scenes. But yeah, I mean, you look at it, I mean, it looks pretty accurate. And said, at least you can take some of the human error of people who don't know ball out of the equation. And I'm never mad at that.
Absolutely. But at the same time, if we're building a giant math equation, I would imagine the amount of people know ball working on that equation, slim to none. So, I mean, how many ball knowers you think were like, you know what? I got this computer system that I'm putting together and I got this crazy algo. I don't think it was a bunch of former football coaches doing that.
You got to trust AI, man. It's getting there. We got robots in homes. We can trust AI on the football polls.
No, you can't trust AI, Q, because I thought AI was going to make doing this show a whole lot easier and help us with research. And I used AI for one episode of the show, and they told me Kyle Monangai still played for Minnesota, and I literally watched Kyle Monangai be drafted with a Rutgers fan. And I still read it on the show like a big dummy. So, no, I'm beefing with AI because it's not smart enough to do my show research for me.
There's always one mistake in there. They're still working on the algo, but it's getting together.
Yeah, getting together, but my camera refuses to. I'm having a Q day over here. My internet's not working. My camera's not focused. You got out to Utah, everything started working, and now all of my equipment is going to crap.
Well, they heard you talking crazy about AI. It was like, all right, bet. Yeah, watch this camera situation. We're in your laptop, right? He's talking that good shit a minute ago.
Yeah, I really don't have an answer for it. Let's see. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
The roll away and roll back. Q, but now that we've just done troubleshooting with the Buckeye Roast here on the channel, that's all I have for today. I planned a text segment of watch me try to focus my camera to end the show, and I successfully hit that in the show notes, and now we're done.
You succeeded. Well, that was a fun show, man. One, appreciate all the people joining. I know Chris said it in these commercial ads we have, but yeah, man, we were at 3K about a week ago. Now we're almost at 3,500. So the show is growing. It's all to you guys. Greatly appreciate it. You are doing all you can to help us grow by hitting that like button, subbing to the channel. Again, there's a lot of people that watch that aren't subs, so please sub, especially if you like hanging out with us. We were having a lot of fun, especially these last couple of weeks. we come in some days and be like, Ron, we don't got much to talk about. Then it's an hour, 20 minutes later, and we're like, yeah, well, we talked about something. So having a great time. You clearly see you to be liking those videos, so make sure you do that. One shout out to all the members. We know people have been gifting subs. Shout out to Robert H. Obviously, we know he's given a ton, but yeah. Keep the memberships rolling. A lot of stuff coming behind the scenes for members, especially Chris Drew does a lot. And we were just actually Chris Drew called me today, which that never happens. So that's a rare hit from him. I'm like, am I getting fired? So,
is this HR or is this Chris?
Yeah, I had a double look when he called me. I was like, hold on. So. No, we had a great talking about some stuff that we're gonna start to put in for the members and around the channel. But channel's doing well, so that's all thanks to you and greatly appreciate it. Wrapping it up. If you want to find me, I'm City Boy Quentin on Twitter, find it Johnson on Instagram. But most importantly, Monday through Friday, you know where to find me right here doing the Buckeye Roast on Dead Air Sports with my guy Ron. So hit that sub button. If you're tired of looking at me, I'll come in with a costume and it'll be like a different person.
Q, you said shrubs. You said people gifting shrubs. I was like, man, this man Chris just got a hoodie. Someone sending Q bushes. Like, when am I gonna get a gift?
Don't worry, Ron. I got you one of these. So there you go. Coming your way soon.
Q, you talked about the community and all of the people helping this channel grow. I'm looking at the community spotlight page for our YouTube channel and just wanted to give a shout out to some of the people that have just been holding it down. Shout out to our guy Doug. Over 200 comments on the channel. That is an absolute real one. Shout out to Emily, 100 plus, Posh 50 plus, our guy Robert H, 5 away from cracking the 50 mark. A big shout out to all the people that like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It helps the channel grow. And yeah, the people that like the hoodie that Chris Drew has on in the commercial, we will be having merch soon. So keep an eye out for that as well. So yeah, if you want to find us, you can catch us Monday through Friday right here on the Dead Air Sports YouTube channel for the Buckeye Roast at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday right here with my guy Q. You can catch me in the Bleacher Report app in the Ohio State team stream after Ohio State games for instant reactions with Chris Drew. So if you'd like to see us there, you can check us out immediately after the game for our thoughts. And then you can catch me on Twitter at 2Ts. It's 2_TES. Q, that's all I have for the day. A big shout out to...
You got to shout out Ark Buck. That's how we got the show started today. So
good. Big shout out to our guy, Ark Buck, and all the Buckeye fans down in Arkansas. All the Buckeye fans that have moved from Arkansas. Shout out to our guy, Cleveland Mike, and his wife, Jen. So big shout out to all of the Buckeyes from Arkansas, in Arkansas, who have passed through Arkansas. It was an unnecessary stray. I'm sorry to my guy, Ark Buck. You guys know how this thing ends. It's always go Ark Buck and OH.
I know.